Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of our journey to catch 100 bees. My name is Kofie. I just uploaded about 30 minutes, and my headset was plugged into my phone, not even my recording device, so it didn't record anything I said. So I guess I'll just go ahead and start over. I'm a little bitter about it, but that's one thing I do want to cover in today's video: bitterness, and just ways to get closer to God. Ways to have less stress. Wouldn't you like to just know the secret to not have stress in your life? To not let things get to you, to not let people get under your skin, not let the devil get under your skin, not let the devil to have your ear, instead of have like to basically, instead of the devil always being in your ear, wouldn't you want God always being in your ear? Like being that constant positive voice in your head instead of that constant negative voice in your head. The closer you get to God, the further the devil will be. The devil doesn't want anything to do with God purely because only reason he's even in this situation now, he can decide to choose God. But has he yet did it yet? No. We would know because we would not be influenced by him if he was an angelic angel again. He has chosen, and God also knows his heart. So God has said even in the Bible, I will give a devil another chance even after God takes us back, or it's even like during the trial of that. When the trumpet sound and all that. I don't know if it's going to be all the same day or all the same time, but I know the devil will be given a chance even after he is proven like wrong. He knows he's wrong, and that's it at the end of the day. You can't rationalize with ignorant people. Why try to argue with someone or prove someone wrong when they don't even know what the truth is? They're ignorant. Ignorant means you don't know. It's like a kid trying to tell you how to drive a car. You know how to drive a car. They don't. They've only lived as long as they've lived, and you've lived however long you've lived to even make you think that you know more. And in God's perspective, He's everlasting. He has an unconditional love, and it's hard to comprehend something that we don't have. We don't have unconditional love. We are not everlasting. We we give up. We not saying that anything to do with everlasting, but just we give up on people. We stop loving people. We have conditions to our love. We have a list of things. If anything, if you do this, I just couldn't see myself even being able to look at you. Stuff like that. So we're different than God. It's going to be hard to comprehend the things that God is capable of if you can't even put yourself in His shoes. So put yourself in the shoes of a person that loves unconditionally, that forgives at the drop of a hat. Now, I don't mean it in a bad way, like whenever someone says, I'm sorry, he just forgives. No, he wants you to he basically knows your heart. He knows when you're actually apologizing and when you're just saying words. You know? Um, he's not like people, which you just have to kind of believe or don't. So most people just don't believe you're going to change. And that doesn't help you change. It should help you, motivate you. Okay, I'll prove them wrong. Most people don't think that way. I don't think that way. But I have been lately, and prove everyone wrong. When what I'm saying is right, and the people that didn't follow it, you know, I don't wish any ill thing to happen to anyone's soul. But God and Jesus will burn up, all the sin, and then we'll have our heaven at the end. Have our heaven as in like however that ends up happening. I'm not clear enough to say how it's going to work, but I do know people that don't choose God, even at the end, even when every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that He's Lord when He comes, people will still choose the devil. At the end of the day, you're just choosing. Sin is just a choice. It's just a choice to go against what you know is right. And what is right is God. So sinning is just transgression of the law is just disobeying God. Disobeying God. If you kill, if you lie, if you steal, if you cheat, disobeying God. That's what a sin is. If you don't worship on the Sabbath, disobeying God. If you don't know what to do and that's why you're not doing it, you're excused. But once someone mentions it, Once someone mentions the truth, regardless if the person thinks it's the truth when they're listening, it doesn't matter if they think it's the truth or not. They are held accountable, just like a person that understands. But you want to know why? Because you should have listened. You know? You were told by someone that wanted what's best for you, another person that has God in them, and God was trying to relay to you information, and you did not listen to them. Is that God's fault? Can you really blame God at the end of the day what people choose? You can't. And that's where people go wrong. And another way people go wrong is just by not listening to him when he talks to you. People are closed-minded to God. They're not used to listening to him. They're not used to talking to him. They're not used to having a relationship with him. They think it has to be a formal conversation. Like, Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you in this formal way to where I feel weird even talking to you because I don't really know exactly how to do it. So people just, basically, if you're a Catholic, nothing against you, everything against the devil and the mark of the beast, pretty much. The mark of the beast, the Catholic Church has even said it. The mark of the beast, their mark, which is the mark of the beast, is the Sunday law, pretty much, like the Sabbath. So they basically changed the Sabbath in 332 A.D. It's in the encyclopedias. You can look at all this stuff. It's in history. They publicly changed the Sabbath date from, this is God's day. You can't change something that God made. So they took it upon themselves to say that it's different, but it's never been. So they changed the day of the Sabbath, the day that God blessed and anointed to give you certain things. God wants that day for you for a reason. It's like if a week for us was a day for him, and on the seventh day for him would be the end of the day. He rested. It's kind of like going to sleep. You need that sleep. You need that rest, or you won't be able to function properly. And are people that without God functioning properly? Are people? Okay, I'm sorry, that was a weird way to put it. Are people that don't worship on the Sabbath functioning properly? No, they aren't. I've been there. I've done that. And people that like you can have everything right except for the Sabbath, and you're still sinning. So that's what I'm getting at. Knowing the entire truth is very powerful, and weak people are very. It's a scary thing that. What did I say? I said to someone. Let me just see what I said. It's a good quote, and it's my quote, by the way. But let me see. There's a reason to live, guys. There's definitely a reason to live. There's a God out there. He loves you. He has a plan for you. Um, there's no reason to feel alone in the world. There's plenty of things that can help work on help making you feel that way or something. But at the end of the day, um, the devil wants what's worst for you. He wants you to be in the situation he's in. Where is he? Banished to heaven after being an angelic, perfect angel made for greatness. He turned his back on God, and that is what you do when you sin. Pretty much. It's a choice to turn your back on God and sin anyway. When you know it's right, you still sin. You still do that thing that makes you happy instead of what makes God happy. Getting the job you want, well, that's good for you. That's all I can say about it. It's not good for anyone else except for you. So just because you want something, just because there's a job out there that appeals to you, doesn't mean that's the job that you're meant to get. And if you don't get it and God gives you another one, you're going to be mad at him because you don't want. I guess you just don't want to be part of the plan that he made for you. Well, too bad. Suck it up. If you want a second chance at life by coming to God and doing what he wants for you, you kind of gotta compromise. Just like you compromise in a relationship. Okay, you smoke cigarettes. I don't like that. But it's an addiction you have, and you can't stop immediately. I'm not going to leave you because you can't stop immediately. But I will give you time and guidance and as much help and support as possible to help to stop doing it while I'm with you. There could be a breaking point where you say you're done. Doesn't mean you should quit on someone, but it's cool to have a breaking point. It's cool to go by it, or all that. But taking it into your own hands, anything into your own hands, anything if you do anything based on your own understanding, you're probably going to fail. Basically, what I'm saying is God knows everything, correct? If you guys know anything about God, it's that He's all-knowing, everlasting. He has everlasting love. He has unconditional love. He is really just the real deal. He's the realest God there is. He's the only God that there is. And when people in the past that have created these religions, surrounded around other gods and anything but the truth, it kind of just makes me cringe a little bit, if I'm being honest. Because I know the truth, and it sucks that people are getting tricked or brainwashed to think something that's not true. I see it as brainwashing because it's basically, I don't know what brainwashing the exact definition is, but in my opinion, it's just training your mind to think a certain way. So there could be positive brainwashing, but I wouldn't think of it as brainwashing. Whoa, what? Oh no. I need to keep this thing and just kill. Jeez. Yeah, but anyway. So basically, when you come to God about something. Oh, I was going to read this thing I told you about earlier. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, spiritually weak people are dangerous because the devil can run wild in their life. So the devil is the beast that we all want to contain in each other. You know, he's that thing that gets out of control when you get in arguments, or he's the person that's irrational. He's the one that has those negative feelings, those negative things. He's the one that thinks that stuff. He's the one that feels that way, and people take it out on other people that emit those things that the devil creates. It is their fault, yes, for thinking the things they do and allowing themselves to be influenced in a negative way, especially when at least one person in their life has said something about it. Because once they know, they're accountable, which in some cases sucks, Because when Jesus comes, no one will have any reason to not believe. No one will have no one will have any reason to not come to him at that point. So those are the people that will burn. Yeah, he might come, and there's the judgment day. Maybe judgment day is just your last chance to come to God if you haven't already. Literally, even after he comes and shows you that what everyone's saying is true, and whatever he's been saying is true, people that still don't believe at that point, I feel like they do need a judgment day. But we all get one. So we all have a chance to turn around and go the opposite way. God gives us free will, guys. So if you're wondering why all the bad things are happening in this world, part of having free will is having free will. The fact that you don't get to control what happens. God is not even controlling other people's actions. He can influence them just like the devil, but he cannot change what they did. He can forgive what they did, but he can't change it. He can't alter it. When it's done, it's done. What he can do. Sorry, yawning. What he can do is be a light in people's lives, so they shine, and people see God through them. Yeah, because at the end of the day, whose opinion matters more than God's? Whose opinion matters besides God? No one's. In my opinion, no one's opinion matters more than God's. It shouldn't. Why would anyone's opinion matter more than the person that knows everything? He actually does know everything. He's not arrogant about it or anything. He's just like, I know, so please listen to me. He just wants you to listen, guys. If you don't listen, you won't hear. So if anything you get from this video, whether it's just gameplay that you're getting from it, or whether it's the fact that I'm talking about God and you need that right now. Everyone needs God in their life. If you already have it, that is awesome. I'm not saying you don't have it. Doesn't mean you don't need to hear what I have to say. And at least someone cares enough about you to talk about it. A lot of people are scared to talk about it, and I'm not that person. I'm not that person anymore, at least. I've been there, I've done that, and I regret it. I don't want to regret anything else in my life. And the only way to do that is to utilize the fact that God is our everlasting Savior. Jesus Christ came down here, shed his blood. Part of that, I don't think people would want to be continuously having to sacrifice animals, raise them, kill them, like all that stuff. Like that doesn't have to happen. Like that is part of what doesn't have to happen, since because Jesus came and shed his blood instead of, so like we're all saved. If like we can all be saved through Christ. So if you believe God, like the New Testament Christians, people like that came after Jesus, people before that had some different regulations, like having to sacrifice animals and stuff like that. But the Sabbath is nothing, none of the commandments have changed. Jesus even said, I came to fulfill the law, not to change it. He didn't come to change anything about it. He just came to clear up what people have got wrong over time. People had all kinds of crazy laws and stuff that were man-made. The Ten Commandments are not man-made. That is the most godly thing you can read at this point, Ten Commandments. But there's a book called The Ten Commandments Twice Removed. I'm about to read it with my sister and her ex-boyfriend, and they have a baby together, so it's kind of like my uncle, whatever he is, brother or whatever. So like, my brother and my sister, both of them, I'm gonna read I'm gonna read with them the Ten Commandments Twice Removed. It's basically where the Roman Catholic Church over time has changed so many things about Christianity. The Bible. They've taken books out of the Bible, like the Book of Enoch, like the Dead Sea Scrolls. That is where the Bible came from. It's like the original version. I'm pretty sure. I think it's written in Hebrew. The Dead Sea Scrolls. There's like more books than what they put in the Holy Bible that we have, American version. So there's stuff about like how white the first white person came to be, or something like that, like how they were born and they were like albino or something. Like there's a lot of stuff like people don't understand that Adam and Eve were. It's just hard to understand. It's just hard to explain unless you know anything about God. Unless you already have biblical or theological experience, or knowledge. If you don't have that stuff, then it'd be way harder to understand what I'm trying to say. If you do have it, it'd be way easier to understand what I'm trying to say. But basically, there's a lot of things that the Catholic Church has taken out, including the commandment about the Sabbath. It's shortened. It's like a paragraph in the original. It's like a half paragraph. It's like 2 sentences, 3 sentences, maybe 4, maybe. But I can read to you. Maybe it is in the Bible, but it's not in the Ten Commandments that he's like whatever the verses are where he says these are 10 commandments and I wrote them. Whatever, it doesn't actually say it there, but like later it'll say, the full 10 commandments or whatever. But basically, you're not supposed to work. You're not supposed to make your servants work. You're not supposed to lead someone to work. You're not supposed to go to the store and buy something because that's causing someone. The reason people are even open is so someone can shop. So if you're shopping, that's more reason for them to stay open. That's more reason for the next time the Sabbath comes around for them to need. If they don't have business, there's no reason to work. So if you don't make like back in those times, there were slaves, there were manservants, there was stuff like that. So he said, don't make your manservant work. You don't work. Don't make your slaves work. Don't make your cattle work. Like nothing. Like animals aren't even supposed to be doing anything, and you're supposed to be meditating on God. Meditating on, like if people actually did that every Saturday, think about how many more spiritual people you would have in your life than you do now. Way more people. It wouldn't just be like, I feel like I'm the only spiritual person that I know besides my family, and I grew up with a spiritual family and spiritual beliefs and very spiritual people. They don't know like what I know as far as the truth, like all of it. My closest family, like my intermediate family does, but like my other family doesn't, and I'm just getting to the point where I can share that with them, like today. Like today, I was able to talk to them and, just open up this, whatever the word is, book that needed to be opened forever ago. So, even God said, start in, what did he say? He's basically like, start in your hometown, then go to the city, then go to the country, then go to a different country. Don't just come to God and immediately think you're ready to go to a different country. You haven't even talked to your family about God. I mean, like, why would you think you can branch out when you haven't even started your journey? You're in the very beginning. And you think you're skipping ahead. You can't just become a missionary overnight. Now with God, yeah, of course, if He wants you to be a missionary and you happen to not have any experience prior, that could be, what you end up doing. That's you. But every person shouldn't just think, missionary work. You can just walk into it. You have to literally have a relationship with God. First of all, it is not even as hard as it sounds, or as hard as it may seem, or whatever. It's not hard, pretty much. It's easy, easiest thing you can do. Guess how you do it? Talk to him. Guess how you talk to him? Whatever way you want to. However you would talk to your family members. However you talk to someone you really trust. Someone that knows you. Because think about it, guys. He created you. He created you. He has unconditional. Think about unconditional. Wouldn't you want that unconditional anything from someone? You know? He has unconditional love. Uh, that is very powerful. Um, I just don't know anything that's better than that. Everlasting love. There's no limits to the love He has. The thing about it is, people will test God. And God kind of like taking Him to court. He wants you to take Him to court, He proves plenty of times, like, regardless of what you say, the truth is the truth. He might not say that. I'm saying that. Regardless of what you say, whatever, regardless of what you believe or what you want to convince yourself, the truth will always be the truth. There's only one truth. And, that is whatever it is. Whether you choose to believe it or not is your option, but that's the truth, that you're choosing whether or not to believe, I guess is my point. And, why put yourself in that situation when you could oh my gosh. I just killed one of these guys. How many more hits? Alright, let's see what you got. Nice, easy distraction. The devil knows I forget stuff. Or see what I'm trying to talk about God and stuff. I always get interrupted by silliness, folly. Okay, I don't need any of this stuff unless I want to get some vines, if I want to use them correctly. Alright, cool. I think I was going this direction. Oh, I found it. And we're going through this hole. Yes. Yes. Are you serious? It wasn't it. What in the world? Where did I find that diamond? I absolutely lost it. Literally, it's like a maze. I'm like too tired to even be playing this right now. I'm like falling asleep. But really, I was awake just long enough to say all that stuff. But like as soon as I stopped, it's like drowsiness is settling in. But yeah, basically at the end of the day, we only have like 5 minutes left. I just want to let you guys know I love you guys. Every single person that watches these videos, every single person that watches any video. I love every single person on this earth. You guys are my family. You guys are a spiritual family. Regardless if you're a spiritual person, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of person you are. It doesn't change the facts. The facts are Adam and Eve populated the entire world, which means we are family. We are connected. We have the same blood. No one, like, the things people want to put in perspective and act like, I don't know what I'm trying to get at. But basically, we are all in the same boat. We have the same choices to make. We have the same enemy, the same choices. We have the same person trying to counteract our actions. Same person trying to have us disappointed in God, and God disappointed in us. You know, he wants what's worst for us. He doesn't want what's best for us at all. No ounce of him even wants good for us, guys. So wake up. If you worship the devil, if you worship any other god besides the one living true God, the one that you call God and not some other name that's not God, pretty much, then just, even if you have another religion, pray to your God. Ask him to prove, basically say, if you're, oh, I found a new area, right? That just happened? I've been here. Wait, how's this happening? I've been here, but I don't remember it. Okay, this must be where I found the diamond, somewhere in this area. Like somewhere around this area, because I have torches here and stuff. But basically what I'm saying is, I've said this so many times this episode, but sleep is important. That's one thing. But yeah, the Sabbath, basically, God wants what's best for you. The Sabbath is created. It's a union between you and God, where you can set time aside of your busy schedule,